Three, two, one. Hey everybody, this is Victor. I am here with Paul. We're going to be talking about his real estate flipping journey, how Paul went from wanting to do flips for over 5 years to lining up financing for his first deal. How you doing?
Fantastic now. Brilliant.
That's good to hear. We're having connection issues before, so hopefully nothing happens and hopefully you can hear me and see me all right. Did I already lose you, or can you hear me?
No, I can hear. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
that's
sounds
good.
Great. Well, cool.
No,
yeah. So I'm glad we could connect. You have a really good story that I want to share with everybody. And I think there's a lot of value in the journey you've been through. It's only been like 30 days that we've been working together. So I'm excited for your progress there. Let's start with this. What's your background?
Well, I've spent my whole life in media and entertainment, making movies and working on TV shows and different things. And the last show I did was called Home Made Simple. You can see that on the Oprah network. And but of course, this year has been the weirdest year since 2008. It's been forced into the twilight zone. And so thankfully, I was able to hook up with Victor, and we're really starting to kick some butt.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I remember you were in the movie business. I think that's really cool. Especially since you're working on like a HGTV type style show. Like, it's one thing to film it, but what made you want to get interested in flipping and actually doing the flips yourself?
I've been wanting to do real estate for quite a while. I've actually built 2 houses, and I've been developing a process for building houses that's super strong. It's fast. So I've been developing that for about, for quite a while. And I've just wanted to transition to real estate because, I want to start building assets and real serious wealth. Because I came to the point in my life where I just decided that, hey, I need to be rich, And so I was looking at all the different ways of what I should be doing to do that. And hey, if you want to be rich, you've got to do what rich people, you've got to do the things that rich people do, right?
Exactly.
And I looked at
real estate.
That's real estate, correct. So, because, I looked at all the Fortune 500 top richest people, and, most of them have made their money through real estate, or even though they do other cool things that they enjoy doing. But the real money for most of these different people came from real estate. Yeah. So, monkey see, monkey do, right?
There we go. That's a good way to that's a good way to look at it. Absolutely. Okay. And then, so with your current flipping situation, so you're, as I understand, like you're in California looking to do flips in Texas. Is that the case?
Yeah, I just didn't want to start here in California. There's just, it's just, I don't want to start with a $600,000 flip. I just don't. It's just, it's like, if you want to learn how to fly, you don't get in a B-1 bomber and start in the B-1 bomber. I mean, going at supersonic speed. You just don't do that. So that's why I wanted to get out of California and do some flips in some smaller towns and where the money isn't as huge.
That's a big deal. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Because here in California, you can get a tool shed that costs $1 million. And
you don't want to start that big. That's a huge thing. A lot can go wrong. And you don't want to be $1 million in the hole on your first deal.
That's right. Yep. So I made the decision to start small and that was the main reason for wanting to get out of California.
Okay. So now you're looking at Texas. And then what were some of your frustrations with starting flipping before we met? Like, what were some of the challenges you were coming up against?
it's twofold. There's definitely a fear factor with involved, and there's that. But also, I mean, I have only been back in the US for 3 years, and I had some challenges getting the credit that I needed to be able to even do anything, because you know, I mean, when you're new in a country, you just don't have a lot of the things that most people take for granted, you know, because they've been living here their whole life. So I had to build my credit. I had to, you know, get organized. So, you know, it's taken me that amount of time just to be organized enough to be able to do what I'm doing, you know. So frustration.
Yeah.
Sorry?
So you had to get the foundation, right? Like get your credit in a good place. What about things like knowing what a good deal is, or like estimating repairs, like any of that? Were you confident on that before, or have you learned anything with working with me on that?
I've really been working hard to try to learn everything I can. And, but one of the things that I really wanted to do was make sure I had a coach that could be with me through the first, you know, little few deals, because just to make sure I had somebody in my corner. And that has, working with Victor has been a very good decision, because he's been, thing about Victor that he really does care. And that's the first thing about leadership, is that nobody is going to follow you until they know that that the person they're following cares. They're just not, you know. So of course I'm a leader of by myself, of course, but it's just great to have another friend who's been there already, been there and done that, who can, you know, who I can do it with. And that's been one of the really good things that's been that I think that I've been able to gain by working with Victor over the last 30 days. The other thing too is that
oh, go ahead.
The other thing too is that with the fear factor, to be honest, I didn't even realize that I was afraid to do it for about 20 of the last 30 days. So that's when you know, we were talking about about some of the things, and I realized deep down that I was scared. I mean, that's funny to say for a guy to say that, because, you know, we don't like to admit stuff like that, do we? But
yeah,
you know,
well, it's just one of those things, like it's there, but it's good to realize it's there, because sometimes you make decisions based on that fear and you don't know why you're making those decisions. So I'm with you there. So the fact that you are self-aware that much is a huge thing. It's a huge bonus.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's been the journey over the last 30 days. And but being able to get the finance now, I've been looking at deals, which is great, for the last, you know, 20 days or so. And so I have a few options of different houses that I'd like to get, and I'm just pulling the finance together now. I should sign that and be able to actually go out there and start the flip. It's so exciting to be finally at this point, after dreaming about it and listening to every tape and every DVD and audio file and all of that stuff. And finally, I'm walking into, you know, being able to really, for real, start. Very exciting. Great place to be.
I'm really glad we're working. Yeah, well, it's exciting to see your progress, and like with the hard money lender you're working with and we're working with, it looks really good. And I have other folks who are working with them who have had a good experience. So it's a certainty at this point. You just have to sign some paperwork and work through that, which isn't it's just, you know, moving through the steps, moving through the motions. But with regards to like finding deals, how many offers have you made, do you think, in the last 30 days? Just an estimate is fine.
probably so far about 10.
Okay. That's good.
And at least 10. There might be more, there might be less. I haven't really been counting. Yeah.
And then have you seen yourself get a little more confident through the offer process? Like on number 1, you were a certain level of confidence, and number 10, you feel like you're getting better at the entire process?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm going to be so good when I finally get my first one done.
Right.
You know, when I finally, you know, because I've been thinking a lot and writing a fair bit about this idea called threshold anxiety,
okay.
which is it's something that they study a lot. Where they have malls. In a mall, there are if you go to a mall after this pandemic is over, if you sit outside a store, you can see people. They've got this moment when they're looking at the store, they're walking towards it, and then they'll either go into the store or not. And you can literally see from just sitting there outside the store the moment that they make the decision to go into the store. And that is that little moment where they decide to go in or not is what they're actually experiencing is threshold anxiety, where they're going, okay, well, will I do this or not? Am I really going to commit or not? And so I was ready. I was, of course, willing to 100% commit to doing this, the flipping, and but as you get closer to it, a lot of times, I can definitely say, with my experience of doing crazy things, you know, I've done movies, I've raised millions of dollars for movies, and there's always this point where you have to decide, no matter what, I'm going to do it. And just knowing about this concept about threshold anxiety, you know, is really good to know, because as you come up to doing it, like as I move into, you know, signing the contracts and doing all that stuff, at some point I'm going to get maximum anxiety. And expecting that is really good to have knowledge of, so that when it happens, I just realize, well, this is threshold anxiety. I know what's happening, and keep moving forward anyway, despite the fear. Because you want to be the person who feels the fear and just moves forward anyway, right?
I think that's a really good insight. I haven't thought of that before. I didn't know there was a word for that. I've experienced it. I've seen it in others too, but I didn't know there's a specific term for it. And I think that's the biggest difference. Like, so sometimes, just to relate it back to me, and then I'll put it back to you here. It's not like I don't have any fear. Like I have zero fear when I'm about to do a flip. Like I still do. It still pops up in my head. Like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if it doesn't sell? You know, what if the repairs are, if I was low on the estimate? And like, I still have the fear, but I act in spite of it. And it's not like I have to fight it. I'm not fighting. I'm just easing through it. I accept it and then move through it. And then sometimes there's that fork in the road where they have that fear and they give up or they go back. And then there's that fork in the road where they move forward. And I think that's a really good insight. And I'll have to share that with others too, where it's not just, hey, your first flip, oh, I'm not scared at all, whatever, I don't care. It's like, yeah, I'm fearful, but I'm confident I'll still be good enough and I'll still take action moving forward. So that's really cool. Did you figure that out yourself? Or you've read that elsewhere? You've researched that?
Yeah, it's a thing that they talk about in the psychology of shopping.
Okay.
And it's also on, but I have a hobby of studying psychology. And I've been studying psychology for a long time, and been actually doing a little bit of that sort of work too. So that's how I know about it. But it's great to know about.
So it's not going to be surprised when you're afraid. Well, at least you know it. So it's not going to be a surprise when you're working on your first one, you know, about to sign the contract, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I'd be afraid. So now you know about it. Yeah.
And having that knowledge is so powerful, you know, and, you know, having somebody to talk about it while I'm going through it too is good. So, you know.
That's really good. Okay. Yes, I think you're really making good progress. You just have to keep at it. I mean, it's only been like 30 days or so. So I'm curious to see where you'll go in about a year, if you project and keep at it for this long.
I'm going to kill it, Victor. That's what I'm going to do.
There we go. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. We're here to take control. We're here to take over.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Take
We're
over.
not going to mamby-pamby around.
What's that?
Sorry? We're not going to joke around. This is for real.
This is for real. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for you to, get your first flip, hit 6 figures, and then, you can work on your construction projects or movie projects, so on and so forth.
It's all about domination. We just want to dominate. That's all.
Okay. There we go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay. So, would you recommend others work with me?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A lot of other trainers and different people, they'll tell you the information, but they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually care. They don't. Victor has been contacting me. There was a couple of days there where I was now. By the way, things have been made much worse by the current circumstances that we're in 2020. Mm-hmm. This whole pandemic garbage. Everything's a lot of different services that we normally just rely on have shut down. Jobs have shut down, and it's sort of like the tightrope has been brought a lot higher. If my tightrope was only 20 feet tall, in 2020, a 20-foot tall tightrope has been brought up to 2,000 feet because there's just so much uncertainty, and it's just great that Victor is always contacting me saying, "What are you doing? Where are we going?" And as I said, about 15 to 20 days in, I had this weird little moment, and Victor was on the phone and texting me, talking to me, and I'm just glad he did, because that could have been, I don't think I would have wimped out, but it's just great to have somebody in your corner who I know, who I like and trust, and who is cool to hang out with too. So it's just great to have somebody, in my corner as I go through this transition from being an ordinary person to being a super flipper.
That's exactly right.
Or maybe not
flipper.
Maybe not super, but at least a flipper.
Mm-hmm.
An investor in property and
real estate investor, flipper. Yeah. So you make that transition from movie maker, movie star to 6-figure flipper.
Not really. I haven't actually been in very many movies. I've just been, I've directed movies and I've worked in special effects, and most of my whole career has been on the other side of the camera. I've interviewed a lot of movie stars and different people, but I've never really been in the movie. Never been interested in being in it. Always interested in the technology and the science and the art of being on this side of the camera, not in front of it like I am today. So.
I guess it's like a different desire, like a different type of person just wants to be in front of a camera.
It's not me.
Not you. Okay, cool. And then, so why should someone listening take action now?
Because if you don't, you're just going to have what you've always had. Mm-hmm. Do you want more of what you've already had? Mm-hmm. Do you want to just stay where you are? If you want to move forward, if you want to go to the next level, and if you want to work with somebody who's already been there, done that, who can be in your corner and help you, stop you from freaking out, or at least be in your corner enough to to have the assurance of having. It's just great to have somebody in your corner as you're going into this, because there's a lot of what ifs, Oh, what if it doesn't sell? What if, what if the economy crashes and nobody wants to buy anything? What if finance just blows up? And there's a lot of those what ifs, and it's having Victor helping me to handle as many of those what ifs as I can.
No,
So
I'm happy to help, and I mean, your success is my success when it comes to this sort of stuff. And I mean, it's really common to have those. They come out of nowhere, like, oh, what if everything falls apart and society falls? It's like, well, then you have a different problem. And I think having a flip that's not going to sell is your, the least of your worries.
yeah. So, but all I'm saying is that there's a lot of uncertainty when you're starting something new, and it's just great to have Victor there to help me through some of the uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I wish I had that when I started. Just that level of expertise for flipping, because those questions pop up, and I think there's some value. There's a lot of value, and like, hey, they're a text away, or they're a phone call away, or they're a message away, or an email away. Like, you have a lot of ways to access me when it comes to flipping.
Yeah,
flipping knowledge.
It's very, very good to know that. Mm-hmm. Very good. Mm-hmm. I mean, because some of these trainers and some of these people that I've studied with before, they just tell you how to do it, and then they run away. It's like, where'd he go? It's like, gosh, what happened?
He took my money and ran.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about Victor's not going anywhere. He's
I'm here. Yeah. I do appreciate the kind words. I do appreciate you taking the time to share your story, and I think we've had a really good dialogue here, and we've learned a lot. I hope everyone listening has learned a lot. Well, any final thoughts as we wrap up here? Any final comments?
If you're thinking about doing it, just do it, because it's easy to stay where you are, but it takes effort and it takes guts. And if you want the glory, you got to have the guts to pull the trigger and make it happen. So, that's my final thought. Just do it.
I think that's a good way to end it. Well, I do appreciate you taking the time again. Thank you so much. And I'm curious where you'll be in a year. I think you'll astound everyone with your success.
Yeah, we should put a date down and actually make sure we have a party or something.
I'm into it,
yeah.
You know where I am.
Yeah, we should do. Yeah. We should do something crazy. Maybe I'll, plan to build a house or something and then invite you over.
Oh, I'm into that. Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be great.
Cool. Hey, we appreciate it, Paul. Thanks so much. You have a nice day. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.